Yes, I already know that. We're fine. We just did case 1 yesterday, game. 22nd November, 3:08 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber, 5.
Just look at my priceless treasure now. Myself, I have scrubbed and scrubbed. But the repellent odor of meat will never be repelled from this resplendent surface again.
But you have it back in your possession, at least. You should be grateful, man.
How dare you?
Excuse me, but I'd just like to get at that zabuton cushion there, if I could. Zabuton cushion! Ooh! That one took me a bit to figure out. Zabuton.
Rest assured, you miserable military malefactor, this is not over. Incarceration awaits those who would defraud a senior citizen for his priceless treasures.
Watch your tongue, old man. Mark my words, I won't... Sorry, Sergeant, but could I just get at that zabuton cushion there as well? Huh? Oh. I won't go to jail! Never! Imagine if I did! The very next day, my boy would starve without the chain of command in place to provide for him.
Using the child to protect yourself? Myself, I call that obstinate cowardice.
Oh, really? And who just employed the old poor defenseless senior citizen tactics, The only way to fight an enemy who's using underhand tactics is with a tot-for-tot strategy. Naruto! Sorry to interrupt again, but I just need to get at that Western-style cushion there on the sofa. Enough of this insubordination! What do you want, man? Oh, please, don't mind me.
Aha! Do my eyes deceive me, or is this the wide-eyed criminal from the trial before?
Wide-eyed, perhaps, but criminal? No.
What is this unhealthy fascination you exhibit with the seating arrangements of others, Why are you peering under the cushion of this upholstered seat?
Oh, well, the thing is... Any luck? Did you find it? No, sadly not. I don't think it's here, Kazuma. You really are a liability, Ryanosuke. Thanks, bestie. Report! At once! Have you lost something? Is that it? Yes, we were just on our way to a party to celebrate my friend's victory here when... I realized that my university pin badge was missing.
A university pin badge, you say?
Yes, from my collar here, you see? Affirmative! Uniforms must be kept in prime condition at all times. A missing badge is unacceptable. I thought if I looked around, it would probably turn up somewhere. Like the old tale of the Koban coin and the steak. That's not an actual tale, Naruto, but sure.
A parable of which I am acutely aware.
But I've exhausted my search now. Really. The only logical conclusion is that someone must have stolen it. Don't look at me! I don't just find any old metal objects irresistible, you know? Imagine what would happen if little Trooper Aido here swallowed something like that! I'm afraid we'll have to give up, Ryanosuke. Still, if you tell the office your student number, they should be able to issue you with a new one. Oh no. What's the matter? Don't tell me. Yes, I don't remember my student number. I don't believe it. I mean, this is the second time you've lost your badge, isn't it? Third, actually. 3 times! If you didn't think you could remember it, you could have made a note of it somewhere. I bet he would lose that note too. I told you that until I was blue in the face the last time this happened. Yes, I do seem to remember someone telling me something along those lines. It was you, was it? You can't even remember who told you that? You needed to remember it? Well, student numbers are 6 digits, Kazuma. Who could remember 6 whole digits? Yume isn't exactly a long-established university, you know. All our numbers are still rather low. In fact, they only use the last 3 digits. Well, that might help, I suppose. That might help? Ryunosuke, it's only 3 digits you needed to remember. Just 3. Sorry, my brain is such a disappointment. Oh my god, Naruhodo, you're such a mood screenshot. Naruhodo is a mood.
Yes, well, anyway, young man. Myself, I was greatly impressed with you in the courtroom today.
Oh, you mean me?
A lawyer already, before you're even graduated, and such a loyal friend to this one.
Yeah, I never memorized any of my student IDs. They had stupid long numbers. Sometimes I forget what my numbers are for my social security, and everyone makes fun of me with that because it's like, oh, come on, everyone knows their social. And I'm like, look, I have awful memory, okay? This one? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, no. I still have much to learn. In fact, that was brought home to me in no uncertain terms only last year. My Achilles heel was spectacularly exposed by my best friend here.
Indeed?
What? By me? This is the first I've heard about it. Yes, by Ryunosuke Naruhodo. You can't have forgotten, surely. It was last summer, at the speech contest. The speech contest? Oh, that. Contestants had to take to the stage and deliver a public address at any subject they chose. We were competing to give the most compelling and powerful speech. And yours was great. It made a huge impression on the audience. Obviously, since I was budding student of law, I was determined to win. No, I don't think it has anything to do with law. I think you just really want to win. You hate losing. And sure enough, one by one, my opposition fell. When I reached the final at last, I came up against you. Yeah, so you did. Not being rude, but when I first laid eyes on you, I thought to myself, this cheeky, wide-eyed, no-hoper is out of his depth. He's gonna be a pushover. Wow! Certified bestie, everybody! That's your version of not being rude, is it? Well, I paid for my complacency, because it brought on that humiliating defeat. Note to self, do not pick on Naruhodo. He will fight back. Oh, you'll be cursed. Defeat? How are your ranks compromised? My speech was going very well. I had the audience in the palm of my hand. They hung on my every word. And then, when I came to the very last line...
Yes? What happened at the very last line?
It was supposed to be a climactic end. Unfortunately, I completely fouled it up.
Never!
You mean, you stumbled on your words? Spectacularly. Even now, I can't believe I ruined it. Well, what on earth did you say, man? Ryunosuke, you better say it. I still can't get my tongue around it. Oh my god. Oh, sure, of course. I can still recall it perfectly. Meanwhile, Naruhodo, I have bad memories, but also can recite a line from a freaking speech thing from a long time ago. What you said at the end of your speech, or rather, what you intended to say at the end of your speech, was this. So arise, ladies and gentlemen, and applaud our forefathers' plight and the fight for oh my god, filial piety. Oh, what? What is that? Okay, hold on. I want to look at my friend's script on this because now I'm curious. What did she put on here? Because she also Hers is not a direct translation of what was said in the Japanese version because she had to write it in a way where it sounds like a tongue twister in English. Let me see. So what she put down for this is, now this is the time to rise up, lads and ladies of the laborer class, vernal and venerable. That one's actually a lot easier to say than filial. Okay, so arise, ladies and gentlemen, and applaud our forefathers' plight and the fight for filial piety. Hello, and welcome back. And what went wrong? What indeed, myself? I see no problem with the pronunciation of these paltry words. In that case, old man, I invite you to say it yourself. Maybe you shouldn't have written it that way.
Very well, then, I shall. So arise, ladies and gentlemen, and applaud our forefathers' plight, and the fight for filial piety. It's impossible!
The arise, ladies and gentlemen part, I delivered perfectly. But the next part had me floundering for a whole 5 minutes. By the end of it, I was on my knees in front of the podium, a blathering mess. I'm trying to imagine this is so good. Imagining this perfectionist Asogi just on his knees. And that's when the audience started to heckle you. Arise, arise, they were shouting.
Hell on earth.
But then, of course, this man went and delivered his word-perfect speech with a perfect ending. How did it go again? Let me see. So, my dear fellows, the message is simple. Treat your father and mother with respect. Something like that? I mean, talk about stating the obvious, but the fact is, I lost to that speech.
Tongue-tied is the only way to describe it.
Well, it is quite tricky to say, I agree. The final fight for filial piety, especially. And ever since that day, I've had this question whirling around my head. Why did our forefathers choose such an awkward phrase? Was it to mock their children? I mean, it should never have been called filial piety in the first place. Hold on, I want to see what he said. Give me that. Let me see that. In the first place? Not Sogi's weakness, tongue twisters. Anyway, at least you're going to Great Britain soon. It might not come up much there. Well, anyway, having lost that accursed contest, I came after you to ask you a question. How is it that you never tripped up on your words? I inquired. And you just gave me a broad smile and said, Speaking fast is my hobby? What? Why is it Just say tongue twisters! Why did you... Janet! Why did you feel the need to say speaking fast instead of tongue twisters? Anyway, I mean really, what kind of hobby is that? Speaking fast? Do you think you could take your hand off your sword? Besides, it's just a way to pass the time. After that, you started talking at me 10 to the dozen, like you were possessed almost. Honestly, you can't imagine the shock I suffered that day. You really can't. Sogi, it was just a speech contest. You're right, I really can't. Speaking fast is just the sort of hobby I expect a civilian like you to waste his time on. Well, you have to practice, of course, but there are simple things to start with. Like the famous one, for example, swift samurai sword swipe silently sideways. Wait, what if tongue twisters was not even a word back then? Is that why it's speaking fast? Is that why the decision was there? Also, they have clearly changed, what the tongue twisters are. Let me see. So this one was supposed to be food items. Let's see. Nama nume, nama gome, nama tamago. Which is fresh barley, fresh rice, fresh eggs. That would be where this is. Swift samurai sword swipes silently sideways. She sells seashells by the seashores. New notebook.
Ah, yes, even a decrepit tongue in an ailing frame such as mine can find its way around that one.
I have no doubt. It's just a bit of fun, really. I can't imagine anybody would struggle to say it. Isn't that right, Kazuma? I love bullying Kazuma. Swift samurai sword. I love bullying Kazuma. A blabbering mess by word, too. It's not just the samurai. Every good soldier needs to be able to handle a sword. That's why I've been busy teaching Idol the finer points of swordplay. None of this wordplay nonsense, Private. Come to think of it, not long after that, we started to attend lectures together, didn't we? And we got into a debate about family values at the sukiyaki place on campus. Do you remember? Yes, your argument was full of jokes and puns and wordplays as usual. I remembered it well. Or was it? This because Scarlet Study never fan-translated the Randst magazines? This is Randst magazine #1. In any case, I swore that I would never let myself forget the shock you gave me back then. And as a symbol of how seriously I took that oath, I decided to wear this, my red Hachimaki headband. Because Naruhodo can talk so fast, and because of a speech contest, he's wearing this dumb headband. I love this man. He's so serious. Sorry, Kazuma. Yes? You lost me here. You've lost me there, I'm afraid. I don't see the link. What does your red headband have to do with your oath? Because it will always remind me of that smug look on your face as you uttered those tantalizing words. What words? You mean another tongue twister? So speaking fast is there, but okay. Okay, they address that it's a tongue twister, and I'm fine with it. I practiced and practiced until my tongue bled, but in the end, I mastered it. Mastered what? Well, I think it's time you heard this, actually. Listen carefully now. Where are the tongue twisters? Okay, here we go. Let's see what the localization's given me. Here goes. Red headband, lead headband, dead headband. There. Word perfect, see? Okay, I can work with this. It's a little odd, but I can work with this. Aka hachimaki, aoi hachimaki, ki hachimaki. Which is the same thing, kind of, except they're colors. They're color headbands in the Japanese version. Red headband, blue headband, yellow headband. I actually been meaning to ask you about that. About the story behind your headband, I mean. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red, yellow. Oh, no, I can't. Oof. I flubbed. Well, now you know. So that I'll never forget the shock and humiliation of that day. God, he's so extra. That's why I wear this red headband every single day without fail. Well, I don't know exactly how much of a shock you think you had back then, but, it can't be more than the shock you've just given me now. What do you mean? Well, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but the tongue twister I said didn't go the way you seem to have remembered it. Huh? It's just as famous as Swift samurai swords, so I can't believe you don't know it, really. It goes, red... Oh, red bread pan. Oh no. Red bread pan, lead bread pan, dead bread man. Oh wow, that's hard. Well, that's actually kind of hard. Akamakigami, Aoi Makigami, Ki Makigami, which is red wrapping paper, blue wrapping paper, yellow wrapping paper. They went with bread, okay, in the localized. Okay, sure. That's actually kind of hard, though. What? Red. You've already messed up the first word? It seems I've knocked some wind out of that headband of yours. It's not too late, Private. You could always start wearing a red bread pan on your head instead.
Your youthful vigor is manifest, young man. Your cheeks are glowing redder than your hachimaki.
Ugh! Why do so many words have to be so similar? So, looking forward to Great Britain then, where you'll have to deliver speeches in court in English. I suppose I can always sell seashells at the— Oh! I suppose I could always sell she-cells at the she-store. This is good. I like this. I'm sorry, this is really funny. Screenshot. Anyway, where is that? In the original, he actually shouts, this is why I hate the Japanese language. And then Naruhodo will ask him, is this the reason why you decided to go to Great Britain? And Osogi's response is, of course not. That's a good... Okay, I'm not crazy about the changes to the tongue twisters, but that ending is pretty good. Oh, that red bread pan or whatever Naruhodo was saying was actually kind of hard, though. Wow.